Hey guys, in this video we're going to be talking about the 5 rules to live by if you identify as a strong woman, if you're confident and secure with yourself. And the reason that we're going to be talking about this subject in particular is over the years I've noticed that every strong, confident woman I've come across, whether as a student, a personal friend, a family member, you name it, they all say the same thing. They often feel attacked by men for being strong women, or they'll be attacked by other women for being strong women. Women are threatened by them just as much. And I've always thought that was a very fascinating phenomenon. So I went to dive deep into 5 simple rules anyone can live by who identifies with this struggle and how you can overcome it in a more permanent way. And it's not complicated at all. So here we are, 5 rules to live by if you identify as a strong woman. Number 1, express your standards to yourself and to others. And what I mean by this is you definitely want to really identify and distinguish what it is that you're willing to tolerate in your life, what kind of behaviors that you're willing to tolerate within yourself to improve the quality of your life and to help you reach and realize the life that you ultimately deserve. And then the other part is that you have to express your standards to the outside world. You have to express your standards to the people that are a part of your life, your friends, your family, your coworkers, you name it. And what I mean by standards are usually just behaviors. You can be assertive without being aggressive. And this is another problem that I find that strong women have as well, is that they understand that they need to be, they need to express their standards for what they will and will not tolerate, but they take on this very masculine, aggressive form of doing it. They respond with anger, and it's very understandable. I think anyone doing their best and realizing that expressing the standards is the way to go would think that you have to do so aggressively, especially if people consistently keep bypassing those boundaries and those standards, basically just not respecting you and your wishes. But instead, I want you to think about coming from a place of humility. And what I mean by this is, I want you to think of yourself dealing with somebody that you admire immensely, whether it's, your father, a role model, your favorite person, your best friend. I want you to think about how you would express and be assertive with that individual while trying to be empathetic, compassionate, not coming off overly aggressive. You'd come from a place of humility. And I imagine you'd say something to the effect of, hey, can I talk to you for a second? There's something I wanted to talk with you about, and I was hoping, maybe we can come to a solution, come to an agreement, rather than have this be a conversation of conflict. I assure you that's not at all what this intent is. And if you approach any conversation with that opening to express a standard of what you will and will not tolerate, you are going to have a much more receptive individual on the other end of that conversation. So again, number 1, super important, express your standards to yourself and to others. Which leads us to number 2, only allow quality people into your life. So I found that a lot of adults have a weird problem of not knowing how to make friends. I feel like that's a skill that many adults lose. And so we tend to just accept people into our lives who are willing to be a part of our lives. And that's a terrible way to go about it. You only want quality people. There are people who will take from you no matter how much you give, and they'll take from you till you have nothing left to give. There are people who will demand from you. There are people who will never respect your boundaries no matter how you communicate. There are people who will do a lot of just crazy shit because they are not quality people. They're not toxic, or they're very toxic people. So the way to ensure that you're only allowing quality people into your life is to distinguish who your friends are that you currently have, friends and family member, who are quality, who are there for you, who are there to celebrate with you during your successes, who are there to help you and guide you during, moments where you may have stumbled or fallen. Those are quality people. Those are people you want in your life. Not people who judge you, not people that talk behind your back, not people who give this ambiguous feeling like, are they my friend or not? Like, they seem cool one minute, but other times they definitely don't. It's not a quality person. Get rid of them. They're very toxic and they're very draining emotionally. So just remove the toxic people from your life, accept all the quality people, and then look for those patterns when you're making friends with other people. By all means, make friends with everybody as much as you can. Be social. And if you're an introvert, that's okay too. Allow people into your life, but once they start displaying signs of toxic behavior and throwing out red flags, remove them. Trust me, it's a pattern that only gets worse and worse and worse, especially in relationships. So pay attention to red flags. I'm not saying one red flag means they have to go. Nobody's perfect. Just figure out what is a quality human being versus a toxic human being. Make that distinction for what it is you will and will not tolerate as part of your standards, and then filter people out who don't make the cut, basically. basically. And that's how you get quality people into your life. Now, the third part is that you want to reward everyone for displaying positive behaviors in your life, in your social circle. If someone is being kind, if someone is being generous, don't take their kindness for granted. Express to them, thank you so much, I really appreciate that. Or, hey, I love that you came to hang out. It means the world to me. I really enjoy your company. Make them feel good. Make them feel significant, powerful. Make them feel like their time is meaningful in your presence. Because it is. They're quality people. They wouldn't be in your life otherwise, especially if you followed, steps 1 and 2 so far. So in order to maintain that quality lifestyle and those quality people, you definitely want to reward them for positive actions and positive behaviors that they display to you and those around you. Number 4. Number 4 is sort of a byproduct of number 3, but it's still something that's worth noting. You want to cultivate and create culture within your workspace, within your home life, your family life, your relationships, and your social circles. And what I mean by cultivate is yes, you want to reward people when they're displaying positive behaviors, step 3, but also you definitely want to create a tight-knit friend group, like expose one friend to another group of friends that don't know each other. And in doing so, you kind of expand your social circle. And so the idea is to create a culture in your workplace, your environment, your relationship, everywhere that you are and you exist, to create a sustaining quality of life for you and those that you choose to allow into your life. Lastly, number 5, you're gonna want to repeat these steps as needed to yourself and to others. So again, going back to expressing standards. If you've expressed your standards to yourself and to others, if you have qualified people to make sure that they're quality and you only allow quality in your life, you've removed toxic people from your life, and you've been able to create a healthy distance from the toxic people you can't completely remove, whether they're coworkers or bosses or family members or what have you. And then you have created a culture within your social groups, your social circles, your friend groups. Then number 5 is just to repeat as needed. Basically, always adjust, always improve, always increase the quality of your life. And for some people, this is something I say with some hesitation, but for some people, it may be just a matter of changing your environment completely. If you have an incredibly toxic work environment, like truly toxic, and it's starting to affect your stress level and on a level where your body's starting to take physiological damage. For example, I knew a woman who was retired in the Air Force, but she was so stressed and she was surrounded by so many toxic people within her work section, basically, that she had started to develop ulcers, that she started to develop insomnia, she wasn't sleeping, and her list of medical issues just grew. And it was because her level of stress was just constant and never ending. And ultimately, once she left the military, once she was able to retire, her quality of life improved dramatically. And so, yeah, I say this with some reserve. Be responsible in taking this step, but change your environment if you need to, and if you can. And if you can and you're able to, then by all means, go for it. Those are the 5 steps. Express your standards, only allow quality people into your life, reward those people for being awesome, create and sustain culture within your social groups, and repeat as needed. Anyway, I hope this was extremely helpful for you. As a gift for staying till the very end, I want to thank you. In the link below, I've created a wallpaper that you can use. I was gonna, initially before I made this video, I was gonna say, write these down if it's helpful. But I was like, you know what? I think it'd be amazing if we could just create a wallpaper for people's phones that they could just download and set on their screensavers. So if you find value from this, if it was helpful, if you love it, please, I'd love for you to download it. It's 100% free. There's no, I'm not going to take your email or your phone number or anything like that. It's just a free gift for watching the video. Thank you ever so much, and I look forward to doing more of these.